everyone.
Hi, out there.
This is a very special episode. Technically, it's episode 3.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Wait, we've only been doing this like twice before?
No.
Oh.
No. This is our episode where we don't actually talk about episode of the show. We just kind of chat.
Oh.
So technically, this is episode 3.
I like it when we do this.
Yeah, there will be more to come. This is Voices from the Vortex. If you didn't know that already, if you just clicked on a random link that you found somewhere.
And if you did, for shame, you have now so many viruses. Not to say we're giving them to you.
No.
You just got them.
Yes. Because
you dirty pin.
Because you definitely have a habit of
sleeping with untempered women?
Links that are...
Right. No, so it's clicking on things.
Yes. So, I'm Taylor, by the way. Let's do the names here.
And I'm Matt, so you can yell at me when I say things that may or may not be, appropriate for children under the age of 50.
Like, you're stupid.
All of your theories are stupid.
All
your theories are stupid. You've got viruses.
Well...
You don't know Doctor Who, but I do.
You don't know Doctor Who like I do, man.
It's so true, though.
I don't even know.
I mean, no, God, you guys are fine. It's
all right. So today we're going to talk about the sadness that is Matt Smith, his departure.
No,
I know it's okay though, but it's not.
It's not.
But it's okay.
Look, I get that the show's about change. I get that. Tennant left and I cried. Like, yesterday I was watching it and I cried. It was sad, but I love Matt Smith. I don't want him to leave yet. Come on. One more season, dude. You can do it. I believe in you.
I'm surprised they're not doing we don't know what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen, though. Matt Smith's we're going to do some specials. We're going to put them out.
Well, they are.
Yeah,
Two,
yeah.
A 50th anniversary and Christmas.
Right. So, we have those to look forward to. But it has been announced that he is going to regenerate at the end of the Christmas special.
Is it the end of the Christmas special? Because all I've seen is the Christmas special.
Well, that's a good point, because...
It could be a minute and a half in.
He could...
Pre-title sequence.
He could fall down the stairs.
Trip over a brick.
Yeah. And then it's like, oopsie daisy.
Eaten by a muppet.
Oh, well, Geronimo.
Clara, before I go, I just want you to know that you were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what else? Geronimo! I don't want to go.
I'll just throw them all in there.
All of them?
Yeah.
This is the end, but the moment has been prepared for. And not a moment too soon.
Oh. So... Yes. We were preparing before. We were practicing, making sure the levels were set. Oh, by the way...
Yeah, this is a special.
We haven't even mentioned, we're in the same room right now.
Holy... That is amazing.
Yes, it's the same microphone.
It has never happened before in the history of man.
A little behind the scenes here. Usually we're over Skype.
Yeah, or something.
And
he's here.
And I'm here.
And I'm there.
Right.
Or I'm here and he's there.
And then...
Which would be weird because this is his house.
We record ourselves talking, and then Matt sends me his half of the conversation, and then I line them up.
8 days later.
Yeah, and then it takes me 5 days to get it together, and then
Then we post it.
And then we post
nobody
it,
even knows what the hell we're talking about.
So...
Dr. What now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, if you like.
If you like.
So yeah, it's cool. It's special. So
same room.
We could high five. Hold on, let's listen.
That was a high five.
Yeah, that was a high five.
High six.
High six.
It was not nearly.
No, our one's missed. So, all right. So Matt Smith.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is the best Doctor we've seen in a while, and I know people out there love David Tennant, but Matt Smith brings something else to it. He brings this level, this gravitas that you don't normally get with a young actor like Matt Smith.
Right.
He pulls in all of these old Doctors, and he has changed. Season by season, he has turned into a different person. And I think that's not even something David Tennant really did very well.
No, I think I agree. I love David Tennant. He's even though he's still my favorite Doctor, but I will agree with you there. Matt Smith has changed a lot over the course of the whole thing. I mean, just looking at when he first regenerated in the first one, and then even the first season, like, his hair was messy sometimes. He was like this kind of
deer in headlights,
almost, and almost like hipstery too, like to Doctor Who at this point. It was like, well, David Tennant's over, but it's like now there's this new guy. He's all super young and cute. It's like, and he wears suspenders and stuff. Like, he's young, but he wears old clothes, right? So, but now it's like, well, of course bow ties are cool. And Matt is putting on his bow tie that I gave him today. Yep. In honor of Matt Smith. His bow tie is at half-mast.
Which is cool.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I will agree with you there.
Well, I think I really do. I think that Matt Smith has brought something different. And I think his time as the Doctor will be looked back on more fondly than it was looked on while it was happening. I know a lot of people out there just did not like Matt Smith.
Right.
Or where Moffat was taking the character. And I think down the road you're going to look back on this much more favorably when you see the story as a whole.
Right.
As opposed to just the individual bits.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like Eccleston's time. Like, people thought, well, I don't know about this new show. And then now that we're, like, into 10 and 11, it's like, people like, oh, 9 was so underrated.
Right.
Like, they go back and they're like, man, it was so good.
I love the way he talked and walked. And...
Yeah, because, and the thing is, like, there's so little of it. So it's like you have to... That's the way people pick apart every moment, because there's only so little of it. But yeah, no, I think people will look back on it and go, you know what, he was really good, and that was actually pretty awesome.
So we've got The Hunt is on, and I know, right off the bat, everyone thinks that they've already picked who it's going to be and everything. They have said The Hunt begins. They're still looking. Mm-hmm. This is exciting. This is the first time you got a chance to experience that, isn't it?
Yeah, because I watched it on DVD and on Netflix from Eccleston on, the new stuff. And this 7th season was the first one I got to actually watch week to week, which was very exciting. But yeah, I even knew, it's like I knew Tennant was going to regenerate, because you were like, well, there's, you were telling me, well, there's 4 seasons of Tennant, and then the specials, and then there's, and then Eccleston's only there for the 1 season, and I'm like, okay, so I expected it. So then they announce it, and I'm like, no, like, this is what it feels like. Oh, God. So, yeah.
This is exactly how it feels.
So, it's weird not knowing, because I've always known who the next person was going to be and kind of what I had to look forward to.
Yeah.
And now I don't know.
And it's scary, because, you're going to get to his last episode, and, this happened with me watching Eccleston the first time through, knowing Tennant. At the time I was watching it was already the first season of Tennant. I was watching Eccleston, but that's just because America didn't have the Eccleston stuff until it had already aired. And so I knew Tennant was coming up. So, you're watching the episodes thinking, okay, how's it going to happen? I'm an old fan of the show. I know about regeneration. I know it's going to happen, but you haven't seen it in the new show. Then Eccleston regenerates. You're like, this is crazy. It's totally different. That kind of scared me a little bit. I don't know who Tennant's going to be.
Right.
But right away you feel okay with Tennant. Tennant makes you feel okay with him. When he goes... when they said Tennant's leaving, he had his final episodes, nail biters the whole time, thinking, when in the episode is it going to happen? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to lead up to it. What's the moment? Does he get hit in the head with a brick? No. But then Matt Smith's there, and you're like, okay. Now I just have to learn to love someone now. And then you do. You watch, and you're like, okay, Matt Smith. But now it's like, I've fallen in love 3 times. Mm-hmm. There is not a 4th. I know there can't be a 4th at me. There's not a 4th person out there who can be the Doctor better than the 3 before him. Right. The way Matt Smith was better than the 2 before him. The way David Tennant was the 1 before him. The way Christopher Eccleston was. And the way Paul McGann never would be. So, like... dig! It's scary, because the first episode of whoever it's going to be... I'm going to have to... There's so much expectation. I'm going to have to like it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. I mean... The one thing it has going for it is Stephen Moffat is staying on still.
Yes.
So
as far as we know, yes.
There's not going to be a huge change like there was with the Russell T. Davies and Moffat switch there.
That was a big switch.
And it was a huge change in the tone of the show, too. But it was still the same kind of fun show, and it wasn't a huge change in certain areas.
We were used to Moffat from some of his previous work on the show.
Right, so...
Kind of knew what to expect.
Yeah. So that's... You're right, there's a lot of expectation, and I hope it's good.
And
I hope the person is good, because if he's not good, if I don't think I like him as much, you know, it's like when Matt Smith came on, I didn't hate him, but I was like, I don't know.
He's not David Tennant.
You know, I was like, yeah, well, that was it. It was like, not David Tennant, and I was like, I don't know. And even now, I still like David Tennant more.
Sure.
But I still think Matt Smith is brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Genius. He can act circles around anybody, but it's. I hope that it's so far. There hasn't been a person I've seen that I go, well, I don't really know. So they've been good at choosing the people, to play it.
Well, clearly this is a case of they're fans of the show too. That's why they're doing the show. Moffat grew up loving Doctor Who. So did Russell T Davies. So now that they get to do it, it's like, let's treat it with the same love and passion that we would expect. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're going to find the best person for the job. They're not just going to pick a name because it's a big name. Out there is a lot of polls. People are taking bets saying it's going to be this person, it's going to be that person, it's going to be that person. And some of them are silly. Some of them you can just write off right away. It's not going to be David Tennant again. It's not going to be Billy Piper.
That's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, it's not going to be anyone you've ever seen on the show before. It will not be. And it won't be a bizarre choice. I know, yes, the Doctor could be anything. Yes, he could be white, he could be black, he could be Indian, he could be male, he could be female. But it's not going to be something so out of left field that it doesn't make any sense. You're not going to suddenly get, you're not going to get...
Well, let's talk about that, because
Vern Trailer.
There's a Trainer,
little guy.
Troyer,
Vern Troyer, little guy. He's not going to suddenly be the Doctor, because that wouldn't make any sense. That's, you go... But that's not Doctor Who. That's a complete diversion.
Right.
And they're not going to alienate people like
let's talk about that, because there's a huge debate right now is, what's wrong with the female Doctor?
Nothing.
I say nothing, but I don't know if I'd like it.
It would be a different show. And I say this with all due respect to every actor and every actress, to every person who is a fan, or a person who's never experienced the show before. While I am willing to concede that, that anyone could be, my bet is going to be, probably going to be a male, probably going to be British,
probably going to be white,
right? And he might be a little younger than Matt Smith. It just seems to be that program, or he's going to be that age group.
Well, the Doctor does have a sort of a Benjamin Button thing going on, he starts off really old and then he just gets younger and younger and younger.
Maybe his physical appearance is however he feels inside.
Right.
When you're, like he says, when you're young, you feel all old, and you're like, I'm old, and blah, blah, blah. But, and then you get older and realize, I want to be young and run around. And so he can make his body that way. Maybe this next one he feels tired and old, and he becomes an old man again.
That would be interesting if he was actually older than Matt Smith, and he was kind of maybe not old guy, like first Doctor, but a little middle-aged or something, like,
You can pull from anywhere the middle group of doctors. Could be in his 50s, or he could even be in his 60s, but be spry. Mm-hmm. Matt Smith doesn't run as much as David Tennant does. You just don't see it.
So, here's my question, because I haven't seen too much of the old stuff, but here's my theory. I'm watching some of the old stuff. I'm on the first Doctor now. I'm watching some of this old stuff, and I have this theory that as the Doctor, you can age, but you have to be alive for like a really long time. Like your one regeneration ages, and then because that's kind of what happened with the first, right? Is he kind of died of old age? Is that right in the first?
Well, his body gave out, but he was old. I mean, he was because I believe the second Doctor says he's like 400 something.
Yeah, so that means his first Doctor was alive for about 400 years.
Ish, yeah. Well, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. He could have been alive for 200 years, and then the second Doctor, when he says he was 400, could have lived 200 years. Right. We only see specific moments of his life.
True.
And, traveling through space and time probably ages you. But, I mean, the Doctor, he's on his 11th incarnation, and he's over 1,000 years old. He's 1,100,
I think he's 1,200.
He's 1,200, yeah. So he's 1,200 now. So, I mean... You can't say, one Doctor was 100 years and another was 300 or anything like that. But they live an inordinate amount of time. But again, for 1,200, he's looking good. So maybe it really is. It's whatever he wants himself to be. Whatever he sees himself at.
Right. So I don't think it'll be an extreme change.
No, I don't think so. It's definitely not John Hurt. For all those I'm sorry, I can't... No, they're not going to do that. I get that they said, and introducing John Hurt as the Doctor. They're not showing you Dr. 12. That would just... No, because that would mean that previous Doctors had knowledge of his own future, which he himself has always said he doesn't know. Mm-hmm. So, no, we're not going to do that. That's not going to be that.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if it was a woman, there's something off about, like, it wouldn't seem right to me. It's possible, and they could do it, and they could prove me wrong, but I just don't think that it would work.
Well, and let me put this to you, too. The Time Lords were both men and women. There have been female Time Lords.
Right.
So there's nothing that says that we can't bring back Time Lords, that there can't be women Time Lords.
Well, and there have been... And the Doctor, the 11th Doctor in The Doctor's Wife, the one, he said him or sometimes her or whatever. You know, he's like the guy changed.
Yeah,
sometimes
it doesn't have to be human either. It just happens to be because people watching the show are human.
Mm-hmm. And the actors,
and the actors are human.
So yeah, no, and that's
because we hire all those elves and orcs to play in Lord of the Rings. We contacted Lord Sauron's agent and said, "Does the giant eyeball want to come play in the movie?" Yeah. Otherwise, we gotta get a dude standing up there with a big old eye on fire. We just don't want to do that.
No, it's a liability.
It's a liability. Fire eye is not good.
No, he has to stand up on the tall tower.
There constantly be someone with a hose trying to put him out.
Or just like an eyedropper, like whoop, whoop. So yeah, and this is a weird argument to have because no other show changes who the main character is.
Listen,
unless they die and they want to like keep the thing going.
Season 7 of MASH could easily have had a female Hawkeye. Okay, anyone could have been Hawkeye. It just happened to have been Alan Alda for all those years. Well, and Alan Alda's identical twin brother and identical twin sister, who all look just like Alan Alda after Alan Alda died. So, like, it was the same guy.
And I mean, Samantha could have been married to.
Dick York.
Dick York. It could have been
Sargent.
It could have been a woman.
Sergeant York.
Yeah, right. It could have been anybody. She could have.
It couldn't have been a woman in the '60s.
Yeah.
Though in today's world, that would be the best Bewitched concept ever. Hire us, NBC. We got this. We got this.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, it is weird because no, they don't change. So it's weird to say, well, why couldn't it be? Well, because. That's what we've come to expect from the character.
Right.
Yes, his personality changes from regeneration to regeneration, but, if you want the show to be familiar, the main character has to be somewhat similar to what he's been in the past. Yeah. Unless you're just, like, totally changing the show. Okay, so random example and totally obscure reference to totally obscure show, but there was a show on ABC called 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, and it starred John Ritter. John Ritter died.
It's too soon, dude. Too soon.
And what they did was they had, David Spade come in as the crazy cousin, and he was like the main character of the show. It totally changed the way the show worked. It wasn't. So it's like if you change the actual, like the whole character, it doesn't work.
Right.
Which is why I don't think it would work.
Well, and it's at this point in time, we're getting close to a point where I think the BBC is going to say, so many more seasons and then we're done. I honestly do believe that we're going to...
I hope not.
Well, no, and I do. I believe we're probably going to see maybe another 4 or 5 seasons of Doctor Who, and then there will be a final season of Doctor Who. Not because they couldn't, not because they didn't before to stop, but I think you have the final... production crew. I think you have the group that's going to write it to its end, and that's okay. I really do think so. I really think a show of this length is amazing. And I would love to see more. I'd love to see a reboot of it. 10 years from now. But I think we're coming to the end of.
And we can start another podcast when we're old.
Yay! Oh, how I wait for those days. No, I just think we're getting to a good point where it can be written. sort of into its.
I could see that. I don't think I'd like it, but
I don't think it would be popular. But I think people would appreciate seeing a finality to something. Some sort of final word on the subject. You say this was who the Doctor was. This was his life.
Yeah, I can see it's weird because the nature of the show is so different. You change the characters, you change the actors as it goes. It's almost like Saturday Night Live. You lose some actors they want to go, you hire some new ones.
Right. But the difference
is
it
could
this
go
is about
on
a character
forever. Well,
and
right.
They wrote themselves into this. They picked. At one point in time, they said, "All right, this is the number. Here you go. You can only do it this many times, guys." And that was them writing in story, saying the Gallifreyans say this.
Right.
This is what the Time Lords believe. So unless it's Doctor Who, they can write anything, but I really feel like we're getting to a point where you're gonna see the end. We really are, and that's.
So you think maybe like a couple more Doctors, or like?
I think we're gonna get one more Doctor. For maybe like 3 seasons or 4 seasons, depending on how popular it is. Maybe only one or 2 seasons, and then we're going to get what will be the final character, the final Doctor. Maybe that'll be a movie. Maybe that'll be a season. Maybe that'll be a set of specials. But I think Moffat's got it in his head. He knows where he wants this to go.
Right.
And I'm thinking it's okay to come to terms with that now, because if they don't, then great. But if they do, okay.
Yeah. You just kind of have to expect that it might be the end, because then you just think it's never going to end, and then it ends.
In fact, this Christmas will be the last episode of Doctor Who. He regenerates into nothing.
To a piece of toast, which Clara then eats with her tea. And mistakenly eats with her.
He regenerates into
I was born to save the Doctor and then eat him.
I don't know what I am. I do.
It's breakfast.
It's breakfast time in the kitchen.
I don't know. I just feel like it's weird because it's new to me, that he's leaving, and I guess I don't know what I expect from the new. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's going to be somebody who acts differently. I don't know what I'm expecting. I don't know what hasn't been done yet. You know what I mean?
I think it'll be played a little more straight-faced. I think he'll be a lot more serious.
Yeah.
And gloomy. I think he'll have a...
Matt Smith was he could be gloomy, but he was very comical.
Comical, yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to say was Tenet was funny. Mm-hmm. He had funny lines. Matt Smith was just hysterical.
Yes.
All around. Okay. He had great physical comedy in there too, which Tenet never really did. Physical comedy.
No.
Not really.
He did conversational humor.
Yes.
And he ran a lot.
Yes, yeah.
Tenet is the most action-packed Doctor Who I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. If only he had done some kung fu like the Third Doctor, that would have been pretty awesome.
Space judo.
Time Kwando.
Oh,
come on. That's a good one. So anyway, yeah.
We better, when we edit this, we better chop that out.
No! Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of a third one, and I can't get there. No!
You don't just make a joke like that.
Did you just make a joke about Jews?
No, it's supposed to be judo. All right, well...
Judo, no.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
So, yeah, no, it was really funny. And so I think, the next one could be more serious.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think he's going to be older.
I think he'll have shorter hair, maybe.
Longer.
It'll be in a ponytail. Oh no.
How about...
And he'll have earrings.
I do feel like...
Or gauges, of those big gauges.
Giant tattoo.
Yeah.
No, I think we're going to see an older man, more the grandfather, figure again. I think we're going to see more of a inspector or detective as opposed to an action star.
Right. Well, the big thing there too is Clara's still going to be there.
Yes.
Clara's going to be there for the next season, and this is interesting. We haven't seen this since Rose.
Oh, someone who knows about the
Someone who
regeneration.
He's someone who not only knows about the regeneration because
knows him beforehand. And
because Jack knew, but who was the companion
for both,
and sort of.
It's true. And was there for the
was
regeneration.
there for we don't know if she'll be there for it, but I'm assuming she would be.
She's confirmed. I mean, the
well, I just mean be there in the scene when he regenerates.
Well, but you know what I mean. I mean, Rose. It wasn't just that Rose was there; is that she was there for the fallout of the regeneration. She was there to take care of him. When he
right.
I wonder if there'll be an episode where he's out of action.
Will he sleep again? His sleepy time doctor.
Will he be crazy? Will he be irrational like Colin Baker, randomly calling people whores and strumpets?
Strumpets, you wretch!
You wretch! That was the word he used, wasn't it?
So yeah, well, what kind? I know there's different kinds of English, British accents. Like, what kind is he going to have? Like, what kind of dialect will he have? His Cockney accent.
Is it going to be proper?
Now, come on now, Clara. Let's go sweep the chimneys.
Are we looking for like a Hugh Grant British?
Right.
Or is it a Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins British? Or are we just going full out My Fair Lady?
Yeah.
Oh, I nuzzled in my pants, my lady parts. I can't do a British accent.
It's all right.
It was terrible. Hold on, let's see if I can pull out ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, the part of Matt does a British accent shall be played by Tennessee Williams. Lord, this heat in here is giving me the vapors. Oh. Thank you.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's Matt Does Tennessee Williams will actually be played by Kermit the Frog.
Heidi ho there. I'm Tennessee Williams. I was a playwright, and I'm gay. Yay!
Oh, man.
And that brings us to the end of the podcast.
Probably, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't have any. I can't think of anything else to say.
We are at a great point right now in Doctor Who. You will get some more of us here in the next couple of weeks. And stay tuned, because we are going to start dissecting different things that we love about Doctor Who in depth a little bit more, as well as bringing you a brand new feature that we call Commentary Who, where Taylor and I riff track old episodes of Doctor Who. So
yeah, we just kind of discovered this today.
So that will either be the most brilliant, creative, and possibly amazing thing that Taylor and I have ever done, or it'll be a horrible train wreck to watch.
Yeah.
Either way,
yeah,
we think you'll enjoy.
Yes, we hope you'll enjoy.
So, hey, this is Matt from the Vortex.
And this is Taylor.
And we're saying bye.
Goodbye!
And we're back.
Bye.